right, so thank you everyone for being here today. This is a roundtable sponsored by the customer success team. Some of you know me already. My name is Eva. I am an account manager here at SciNote. I've been here for 3 years now, and I am today here with Kelly.
Hi, everybody. As Ava said, I am Kelly. I'm another customer success manager at SciNote, and I'm excited to be here today to answer your questions and kind of get you to be closer to a SciNote expert as you can.
Thank you, Kelly. So for today, we thought about a shorter session where you can actually send your specific questions. So if you have something prepared, you can just type it in the Q&A section, and we will answer it.
Yeah, and like Ava said, it's going to be at the bottom toolbar. And it's going to be a little emoji that looks like almost as if it's a chat bubble with a little exclamation point. And there's where you can type in your questions.
Yeah, and before we forget, but I'm quite sure you have noticed, we are recording this webinar so that we can send it out to people who couldn't make it. And if you want, we will send it out to you as well so that you can share with your colleagues.
And so that there's no lull as people are typing in their questions. We did come with a few questions already prepared that we have had asked to us recently. So that way, kind of like frequently asked questions or recently asked questions. So what I can do is I can get started on some of those questions. And like we said, just right as questions come up, you can write them in the chat. So let me start by sharing my screen.
Thanks, Kelly.
Of course. All right. Are you seeing my SciNote screen, Ava?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So a recent question that we had was, are you able to see the protocol version that has been used on a task? As you know, protocol templates or our protocol templates do have versioning. So there can be scenarios where you might have a protocol that is an older version and a new version has been updated since you've uploaded it to a task. So yes, you can see if a protocol is uploaded to the task and it has since then been changed. So let me go into one of my projects here, and so I can show you what exactly that's going to look like. So inside here, I'm going to go to my task. I have uploaded a protocol, and I know that because it says linked here. So this protocol was one of my templates, and I can even get more information if I click on this little I here. It's going to let me know the protocol when it was uploaded, when the protocol template was published, and when it was modified. So once protocol templates are uploaded to a task, you can modify them further. So for example here, if I wanted to go in and let me just add another step here. Add step right here. I've now updated this template. Now my eye has changed from that black to the blue, and it's going to let me know that this version of this protocol has now been modified, and this protocol modified date is going to change as well. However, it was asked about if a new version has been utilized. So let me go into another task here where I have uploaded a protocol. And this protocol, when I uploaded it, it was the most up-to-date version. However, since then, it is now a new version. So instead of that I being blue or black, it's going to be orange here. And now it's letting me know that there has been a new version of this protocol available in the protocol templates. What I can do, if I would like, is I can go to protocol actions and I can go to new version update. So what that will do is when I click on it, it's going to say, do I want to update that? That's because if I made any changes here, it's going to override that. And once I click yes, update it. Oh, just bear with me as I'm screen sharing. It now updated that protocol to that new version. And now I no longer have that orange eye because it is the up-to-date version. So yes, you can see that. And yes, you can also move to the most updated version if needed.
That's great. Thanks, Kelly.
Of course.
So we have a question from Marilu. Hello. So I would like to have a better understanding of a task status workflows. I understand that it's a way to see where we are with a task, but the rights are the same for status not started, in progress, completed. Would it be possible to have an example of a user case on how to optimize the status flow? Kelly, do you want to take it? Shall I take it?
I have a few because I have a few questions regarding this. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
me
if I
too.
fully
Go ahead.
understand. Okay. So you said about the rights of the status are, so I'm assuming that you're talking about like the status here where I can, that's not what I wanted to click on. Where in your workflow, are you having questions? And you can type this in the chat or the Q&A as well as another question, but just the answer. Are you asking more about the status workflow or more with the workflow of, let's say, this task workflow? And
Let's see if we can wait.
yeah.
Marilu's question. I'm now just, Francis sent a question as well. Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay. For the
First
first
option. Okay.
So now I'm going to, are you wondering what's the difference between each one of these workflow statuses, the difference between like in progress and completed and review and done? Or is there something maybe a little bit different that you want to know regarding the statuses?
Okay, we have the answer.
Okay, difference with statuses. Perfect.
Okay.
So in general, there's not a very large or a big difference between a lot of these, or I'll say in between the not started, in progress, and complete. If you have our plans that are the essential plan, you won't have the in review or done. If you do not have electronic signatures, yours is going to stop at completed. And the difference between this is once you go from not started to in progress, it's going to also timestamp that, letting you know that this task has begun. And then once you move it from in progress to complete, if you have a due date here or at your dashboard, once it's moved to complete, it no longer is going to have that as your current task, letting you know that you have that task that needs to be completed. So the big difference between moving from in progress to complete is the turning off of that reminder that something is due. Now, the bigger difference is when you get to in review and done. Once you move it to in review, and I can do this right now, bear with me. Once I move it to in review, it's going to move and lock. So essentially, I cannot make any more changes to this protocol. It is now locked, and this is going to be the version that somebody would be signing off on. So in the in review is where you are able to sign tasks. So I have a new button that appeared here. I can click sign task, and then it's going to give me the option to reject or sign my signature. Once the signatures on that task, so my signers, the co-signers, once they're all completed, that's when I can then move it to done. And once it's moved to done, it's stamping it, saying that this is the task that is signed off on, and no more edits can be made. This is the approved task that was completed, if that makes sense. Ava, do you have anything to add between the status workflows?
Yeah, I maybe just want to mention that SciNote offers different plans. So you might now see the workflow as Kelly is seeing it. So with the in review and done options. Or you might only have the status flow until completed status. And yeah, that's the only thing that I wanted to point out. And maybe I think Francis' question, which is the second question that we got today. Hi, Francis. I think it's kind of related to the status flow, because he is asking if when preparing a task, is there a way to assign an item without consuming it before the task is marked as completed? So as Kelly just explained, the first three statuses do not lock the task. So whenever you assign an item, you can decide to consume it even after you completed it, right? Although for a perfect workflow, let's say, it doesn't really make sense, because you want to mark the task as completed when you have assigned all your items, when you have consumed all the amounts, etc., etc. So to answer, just to summarize your question, you can assign items and consume them whenever you want, even when the task is completed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something to add to that is that if you have inventory items to the assigned items, and then you do move it to in review. Here, let me go back real quick so I can show you what that looks like. And so let me just assign an inventory item here real quick. Once I move it to in review, what it's also going to do is it's going to create a snapshot. Here we go. And what that does is that on this task, it locks this item in the version that it is now. So let's say down the line, I do end up editing this inventory item. It's not going to change here at this task. So if you were to create a report or you were to look back on this item, it's going to show this item in the state in which when the task was moved to in review. So that's something that also happens at in review.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
And then we have Rawan. Hello. We are happy to organize these kind of webinars, and hopefully if you find them more efficient, we will keep doing it in the future. So your first question is there a possibility to duplicate a project? I know we can duplicate experiments, but it would be useful if we can do that for project within folders. This is, Kelly, also a very common questions that we get, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's currently not possible, but we have been chatting about it. So TBC, let's see what happens this year.
And what we'll also do as well is we'll take your upvote and we'll put it on our product team's board.
Yeah, exactly.
So that way you'll be notified if things change as well.
Yeah. Kelly, maybe because you're sharing, do you mind showing how to duplicate experiments and maybe show the difference between when you are in the project card and the experiment card? Yeah.
Duplicating projects and duplicating experiments and tasks.
Yeah, just to show that in the project card is not possible to duplicate, but in the experiment, yes.
Yeah. So you can kind of go about it two ways. I'm going to select the card, and down here we do not get the option to duplicate. We get options for editing and for other different types of actions you want to perform in that card, but not for the projects. However, let's go inside this project. And I'm in table view. You can be in card view as well. It doesn't matter. But once I select this, I do have the option to duplicate it. Once I do that and I click on it, it does give me the option to duplicate it, and it asks which project I would like to duplicate it to. So I can still duplicate it in the same project, and it's going to give me that PCR double. It's going to say, and I can show you what that looks like. It's going to come up here, and again, I'm screen sharing, so I apologize. It does go a little slow. It's going to say clone and then my PCR, which I can always change the name of it as well. The same thing as if I were to click on a different project, it would clone it and then bring it, say clone 1, and you would know you're in a different project based off of up here. Instead of it being SciNote examples, it might be something, a different project name. But you can also then duplicate as well task cards. So this specific task card or an entire workflow too, if needed. So that way, if you were to be doing PCR and you did it twice within this experiment, you could have that workflow done twice without having to create it each time.
Thanks, Kelly.
Of course.
And then second question from Rawan is regarding the Zebra integration. I remember that you do have the custom label option. So when you say, so the question is this, can we print barcodes using SciNote Zebra integration? So you try to type a script in SciNote to print out a barcode, but that didn't work. And also, can we convert QR codes for inventory items into barcodes? I'm actually not familiar with this. I don't think that we can convert SciNote QR codes into barcodes, even with the Zebra integration. Do you know anything about it, Kelly?
From what I know, I'm going to say no, that's not an option. However, we'll check back with our team just to double check to make sure that what I'm saying is not a lie. And we'll let you know for sure.
All right. We will follow up via email.
Yeah, but you were saying that you tried to type in a script in SciNote to print out the barcode or the were you able, I should say, were you able to successfully create a label? It's just that you weren't able to create a barcode. Just want to make sure that you were able to at least create that custom label.
Rowan, if you can type it. Ah, yeah, you are. Okay. Ah, no. Rowan, when you can, if you can type it in the chat so that we can better understand. Yeah, what your steps were. Hi, Raymond. So, do you want to? Okay, so just 1 second, because Rowan just answered below, so maybe we can finish that topic.
So yeah, because it's, I want to make sure that we're on the same page here, and I'm not 100% sure if we are, but let me go into label templates. So with our label templates, we do have the QR code. Here we go. And oh, that's a Fluix. That's why that looked a little different for me. But we do have the QR code that would be shown here. However, if you were trying to transfer it from the QR code to a barcode, and that's not showing up, that's probably because of the fact that I do not believe we can do barcodes. But if you are still, or if you are trying to create templates with the QR code and you are being unsuccessful, I would say, I think, Ava, are you work with Raywan?
Yeah,
Okay, then I would say just reach out to Ava and let her
yeah,
know that you are being unsuccessful just creating a template in general. Yeah, I'm assuming that the barcode's not showing up just because of the fact that I do not believe we work with
yeah.
barcodes, just the QR codes. But the QR codes can be scanned with any 2D scanner, with the tablet, your cell phone, things of that nature.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, question from Raymond is it possible to clone or transfer an experiment to another project or to a project in another team? This is also a very interesting question because we have been talking a lot about allowing sharing objects, let's call them objects, between teams. It is possible to clone an experiment and move it to another project. That's totally possible. Although you cannot move, let's say, an experiment to a project in another team or move a project to another team. Like, for example, it's not possible to move or duplicate a protocol to another team. Yeah, maybe we can show it,
Yeah.
Kelly.
So I have here the experiment. I'm going to just still use this PCR because that's the one that's drawing my eye today. But once I click on that, I'm going to click duplicate. And then once I click duplicate, I can choose, let's say here, production of protein. Once I click duplicate, it's going to clone that experiment to the production of protein there. And I have that clone here to let me know that this was the duplicate of it. However, if you just wanted to, let's say, transfer, I can select that item as well and then click move. And then I can click which project I want to move it to. So let's just say reagent formulation. I'm moving things all over the place today. Once I click move, it's going to bring me into that new project and show me that experiment that I cloned is now moved here.
Kelly, can you maybe switch to card view because
Yeah,
at least to me the toolbar below didn't show. So maybe just
yeah.
re-show the move. Okay, now I can.
So yeah, just select it down here. It'll say move. I believe now going back to my knowledge here. Yeah, if you click the three dots as well, it does give you the option the same as to duplicate and move. So you have two different areas in which you can do it. But just selecting it, clicking move with the pop out. I'm going to go back to my SciNote examples, go full circle here. And it's now brought down here my clone too. And I just moved it to 3 different projects. And I actually cloned it from this original one.
Yeah. But Raymond, as we suggested to Rowan, we will also add this as we will upvote this suggestion as well.
Yes. It's becoming a very,
You're welcome.
very popular, I should say. I hear it a lot now.
Yeah. Okay, so we still have 4 minutes until the end. We had some very great questions. Kelly and I, we also thought about doing some housekeeping today, some features that we would really like to revisit. So maybe Kelly, you can start. And if there are any other questions coming in, we will make sure we will answer via email.
Yeah. So what I'm going to talk about today, or for the remainder of the time, is SciNote Edit and file versioning. SciNote Edit is a feature that I think is underutilized because it's so powerful. You can upload your files directly to your notes and to your protocols, and then edit that file in its respective software, and then save those changes directly back into SciNote. So you don't have to upload it, download it, delete it, re-upload it to your software, all of that additional steps. It does it directly inside SciNote for you. And I think the reason why it's being underutilized is because you have to do one additional step before you can start utilizing it. And that's downloading it onto your computer. It is free, so have no fear, but you will be going to the add-on section. So if the add-on section makes you a little nervous, don't worry, there are some free things in here. And that being SciNote Edit. So what you're going to do is just click download and then follow the instructions provided to complete the installation. And then it's just going to run in your background. You're not even going to know it's there, except for when you're in SciNote and you're going to be utilizing it. So how does it work? Let me go into a project here, and I'm going to go to SciNote examples. And let me go into, I think, where did I have that one? Right here, my CRISPR. And stop cloning. Okay. So what I'm going to demonstrate with is an Excel. Because oftentimes I hear a lot that our Excels, SciNote or uses Excel online, and it's not as powerful as Excel on the desktop. So that's why I'm going to show you Excel on the desktop so that way you can use those graphs and the additional features that weren't with the SciNote online. But what I did was I uploaded this file by just going in here to the step, inserting, choosing the file, choosing from my PC and uploading it. Then what you can do is I'm going to click on my three dots here. Oh, I lied. I'm going to click on this little box to open it. And then I have the options. And here it's going to say to upload it on whichever software that you utilize it, this file for. So when I click open in Excel here, it's going to open it on my desktop. I'm going to get a notification that it's opening. And then I'm going to get it to open on my Excel, which you're not going to see right now. But what I'm going to do to make sure that you do see it is I'm going to make a nice orange box. And I'm going to save, or bright yellow box. And all I'm going to do now is just click save. Once I've clicked save, it's going to, and I'm going to be impatient here and click refresh. It's just going to automatically save that file back to my SciNote with the save changes. So it's very seamless to do. Then I know I'm going over here, so bear with me here real quick, but I want to just tack on the file versioning that I think runs so great with SciNote Edit. So not only will you be able to edit your files in their respective software, but now you'll also be able to see a version history of that file. So as long as you have our plans that are the validated or our platinum, which I don't think has this yet, but we'll be having this soon. You'll be able to then look at the versioning. You can download the version. You can even restore back to a previous version. So maybe I want to restore back to version 3. I'll click restore. And then it's going to take this file very quickly, typically, but screen sharing makes it slow. But then it's going to revert back to that version 3 that I had for that file. So it gives you a nice overview of your files, keeps things simple. I do think it's an extremely powerful tool, especially used together for you with your protocols. And we have yet to find a software that this doesn't work with. So GraphPad, Prism, ChemDoodle, Adobe, things along that you might be using every day. Use it with SciNote Edit. Keep all your files with your notes.
That's great, Kelly. Thank you. And I know we are running out of time, but there is a question related to this that maybe we can answer. And I apologize in advance if I say the name incorrectly. I will say gel, or just tell me if I spelled it wrong. So what happens if multiple people open the same file from SciNote at the same time on their desktop?
Yeah. So if that does happen, it will just create additional files saved back. So if I open it and Ava also open it and we both save it, instead of it having just this one file, it will have both the files there. So that way you could then merge them together if needed. So you're not going to be losing any data. It's just going to kind of be like a safety net where it just saves them both back. And then do with them as you will, combine them if needed.
That's great. Cool. Then I guess that's all for today. Expect a follow-up email from us where we have the recording, maybe the summary of the questions and missing information. Although for some specific cases, we will be probably reaching out individually.
And we forgot to mention that when we have that follow-up email, we're also just going to be sending a survey to everyone who was in attendance. So your feedback is greatly appreciated. Give us the good, the bad, the ugly. We'd like to know.
Thank you, everyone.